Hi, so this is a speedrun tutorial on how to speedrun Half-Life Decay. I'm going to do this alongside a basic practice run, but I'm going to have triggers enabled so you can see what's going on. So to start this run, this door's going to open and we want to get through it as quickly as possible. You hit a trigger on the other side. As soon as we hit the trigger, we're waiting about a minute and 1 second, so 61 seconds, for Barney to go and activate. It's not even 61 seconds, it's more like 50 seconds, but we've got to wait for Barney to get over here. He'll be done by about the 1 minute, 1 second mark. In that time, you lower your frame rate and bring both characters over here, because if you don't lower your frame rate, Barney will take 10 years to turn around. So
This should only take a second. There you go.
Once this door opens, we want to have our frame rate high to quickly get across to hit here. Keep our frame rate lowered because we need to hit that as soon as possible, but we also need this character to turn instantly. So here we need to just hit that trigger as quickly as possible. Walk in here to trigger Barney's dialogue, and then bring both characters over here ready to step into the booth. I lower my frame rate here because it means that deceleration works faster. With the character who's not being scanned, I rub up against Barney and turn him to face as close to this console as possible. And then break line of sight so Barney doesn't turn back around. I swap the characters out through here, and the character that has been scanned sits right here. I'm keeping my frame rate lower this entire time to make sure NPCs turn fast, because as soon as I come out of this door, Barney is going to turn around and hit the button. That's when I raise my frame rate and I start going fast. Hit this trigger to open the door and rush in. Now I need to go really fast. I want to keep my speed over about 500 so I can get through the door before the door shuts. If the door shuts, I have to wait for it to open again, and I sometimes have to step back to hit the trigger again. So we call that fast elevator if you can get it in before the door shuts. If you can keep a B-hop speed consistently over 500, but under the B-hop cap, you're pretty much safe. This section here is just about going fast. Until you get to this point, you want to lower your frame rate. And for a funny little joke, you can place Colette Green up against the elevator. And you place him right into the seam. Rosenberg, who is an NPC who's on the other side of this elevator door, will start dancing. Or shuffling. Or whatever you want to call it. Now, we've got to wait for the NPCs to finish talking here, so while I do, I'm going to explain a couple of things. Throughout the game, you're supposed to be using 2 characters to complete puzzles that are only possible with 2 people. However, for most of the game, we're getting around that just by, being fast and abusing exploits. This is the only time when we don't have one of those exploits. And this is also the only puzzle where the specific character you use is important. So for this section, you want the white suited character, that is Gina Cross, to go through this door. You want Colette Green to go through this door. There's also a soft lock that can happen here. If you go through this door too quickly, it will soft lock. You want to go through the door as soon as the door has finished opening. Once you go through the door, switch characters and get the other person through here and activate these buttons. You can then come back to this character and then push this sample into that box. Try not to be caught in here at the time when it goes in, otherwise you might soft lock. Once you've done that, you're free to come back to this character and swap back down and come down into here. This wall has no collision. Simply crash jump into it, and you won't notice it at first, but you'll have collected an invisible crowbar. You'll technically have 2 crowbars on this character. That's not really important. The reason why we do this is because then we can bring Colette Green out of the test chamber without soft locking the gate. So once we hit this button, once the door shuts again, it triggers the elevator mechanism to open up and do its set piece. And it'll check that if the crowbar's still there. If the crowbar's not there, it'll do that. But we've got both characters over here, so we can just sit them over here, and you can use the character with the crowbar to draw something on the wall if you want. The reason why we sit up here is that sometimes invisible explosions down below can explode you even though you're not in the test chamber. So we just stay safe up here. So I sometimes like to just draw a Y and pretend it's a lambda symbol.
It's not shutting down.
It's a pretty bad lambda symbol, but anyway. So yeah, pretty much par for a PB or a good run really here is about 6 minutes out of accident 1. We're a bit slow here, but anyway. This next section, I'm not going to move at first, but you can move in the black screen. Now, without touching my mouse, if you hold A, you'll hit an explosion. Hold A and then crouch under, and you'll come through here while it's black screen. And you basically want to go through that way, and you just want to go fast through here. This is all just about going fast. Grab the gun, always grab the gun. Load about 6 shots into his head, and then crowbar him to hit him. Just run fast here. There's a lot going on, but just go fast. Press E on that console there. Run fast. Here, use the swap bug exploit, or swap bug command. You want to aim for roughly center, right about there, and then just swap bug up. This will trigger the next level, hopefully. Sometimes it can just reset the level. I'll include the swap bug exploit script in the description, as well as my own personal configs. There's a lot to take in there, so I suggest you go back through that and play it in slow motion. All there really is to that level, though, is just execution and memorizing where to go during the black screen. But like I said, just hold A, and you'll get it every time. So here, I lower my frame rate, wait for Rosenberg to come in here, situate one character here, waiting for Rosenberg to hit the button. Once he started his dialogue, we can bring this character over here, swap over to here, bring the other character into this wide open space and situate them roughly in the center. Once Rosenberg has gotten to this position, we can raise our frame rate again. Once the gate opens up, we can then start moving fast. So we go fast, hit that trigger to open the door. Just run through this smoke, it doesn't really matter.
Now we will combine.
So in this room, we actually want to jump out and into the back rooms, quote unquote. Just go fast here, go down the elevator, or ladder I should say. Go really fast here. The reason why we do that is because we don't want to take damage and we want to get through here fast. Bullets take 4 bullets to kill. You just want to kill that one so he doesn't annoy you. Swap bug up here. Obviously, I turned off the power so I can actually open up the door. Here, it's all about swap bugging and staying above the yellow push trigger. Grab the shotgun. Use it here. Don't go fast. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We kill them. Lower frame rate once you're in this room. You're going to have a lot of loud noises from that head crab from earlier, blocking the door. This needs to be activated 9 times. So 5, 6, 7. If you ever lose count, once the second head crab spawns, there's 2 more. Or you can look at this. If it's flush with the bottom, you're free to go up. At that point, you can also raise your frame rate. So jump over there. Hit this button and hit this button. Right click. Right click. Come over here, lower your frame rate, aim at this point here where the edges of the locker is. And you want to try and shoot Rosenberg and then stand in the way to push him over here. I didn't manage to get it this time, but I will maybe overlay a working version of the exploit or in that point there. I call it Murder the Burger. So what I would basically do is you shoot Rosenberg and you scare him. Once you scare him, you stand over here to make him run away from you. He'll run to this point and he'll open the door immediately rather than using the security scanner. Saves about 10 seconds.
We made it. Now, at the end of this tunnel,
And of course, once you're done, you actually have to stand in this blue section here to cause him to do his dialogue.
Good work. I couldn't have gotten here without you.
Also, interesting fact is that there's actually 2 Rosenbergs, but I didn't get to show that off here. Alright. So this is DY signal. First thing you want to do is you want to swap bug up towards the sun. You can actually see the sun while the screen's black. Lower your frame rate once you're up here. And try not to look at the seizure-inducing patterns in the floor, because this is technically out of bounds. Keep moving along, keep moving along. Over here, there's sort of a trick to getting back inbounds. You come to about this point and then run forwards. It's not very precise. You can just... It's very forgiving. Over here, it's sort of hard to see, but we're waiting for Rosenberg to step back and then try to tug on the door. That's when we open the door and let him in. If we do it any sooner, we might soft lock his sequencing, and that's not very fun. With the other character, we come over here and we hide from the Vortigaunts that just spawned. There's 3 of them outside. Once the door shuts, we proceed through here and we touch the valve. This triggers 2 Vorts to spawn, we kill them quickly. We can now raise our frame rate while we hear Rosenberg talking and hold E on this valve. As soon as the valve unlocks, you can then switch to the other character and hit a button. It should rotate 3 quarter turns. So there you go, and then you turn over and hit that. Lower your frame rate so Rosenberg can turn around. And that's pretty much it. You've completed this level. There's no more triggers you got to wait for. You can just wait for Rosenberg to do his set piece, which is going to take a minute or 2. That's always fun. So you might as well go outside and have some fun. Kill some Vorts. Destroy all the cactuses. Or what I like to do is I like to get this funky box over here, which seems to have very unusual properties, and because it's rotated. So its bounding box and its collision box are 2 separate things. You can do funky things like that. You can throw it into the sky. As you can see, it's now out of bounds. Anyway, get your frame rate raised, because the next section here is we need to swap bug straight up into this window. That was smooth. Crouch under this door. May as well have your crowbar out. Come up here. Open this thing, and that's going to spawn some alien grunts behind you. Ignore them. Just come down here. Jump out this window and swap bug over to here. Now crouch into this nook here and hold E. Stay crouched the entire time, because a bunch of alien controllers are going to spawn. But while you're crouched here, all of their spawn points are visually obscured from you, or rather you are obscured from all their spawn points. So when they spawn, they can't see you, they don't know you're there, so they stay in their idle animation. They don't patrol, they don't do anything, they just sit there. They wait until they see you. So once it's fully turned, I don't know why it turned back for a second there, but once it's fully turned, you're then free to leave. If you're not too confident in this next little trick, you might as well just stay crouched there for the 6 or so minutes set. We gotta wait for Keller's set piece, because yes, again, we're waiting for NPCs. If you don't like waiting for NPCs, run a different game. Now, you might as well just come down here and explore. Or you can do something a little bit more complex, like, I don't know, How about we swap bug all the way up?
Displacement
Here.
energy in that area is astounding. Hold fast. This is going to be rough. Too much pressure. I'm attempting an emergency shutdown.
Anyway, yeah, this is a thing. These helicopters here only have like an underside model. Just something interesting to show off.
I did it. The displacement fields have shut down. Damn it, this is the second time they failed us. I'm going to see if I can access the transit system and bring
So yeah, there's really nothing to this level once you've done that rotation thing. It's just fun to come up here, I guess. Alright. This is Dawn, so I shoot a glass window in the dark. See how my line up there? I shoot a glass window there. And while it's in the dark, I run forward, I slightly tap left. I crash through the window. And you come up here, use that computer, and come on through. By this point, you'll be able to see, and you get both characters through here. Now, in this level, you're going to be using the revolver. Shotgun, revolver are your friends here, as well as the pistol. So, run fast with the revolver out. Break this window, climb through, hit that button, continue on. You can either go left or right here, it doesn't really matter. But just try not to bump your head on that thing over there. Jump over here, watch the turret. Come through here. Be fast. Swap to your 9mm. You can break that vent with one shot. Come back through here, have your 357 out. Shoot the head crab to prevent him from damaging you. Come up here. Watch for that head crab to jump at you. Try and juke him if you can. Shoot that vent. Come through here. Quickly try and shoot that head crab. I was a bit bad there. But if you shoot the head crab before he jumps, his physical body will despawn by the time you get up to him. It costs a few seconds if you don't despawn him. If you don't shoot him fast enough. Here, be careful because the grunt sometimes comes through and tries to hit that trip mine as you run through. I call him the kamikaze grunt. If he's going to kamikaze, it's faster or safer rather to sit back and wait. Come up here, right click this guy, right click this guy. There's 4 guys in this room, so we right click this guy, that's 3rd guy. Come up here, and right click this guy. Quickly switch to grenades, chuck some down here, chuck some over this way, chuck some over this way. Double check over here, oh, everyone's dead. Double check over here, he lived, so we gotta kill him. Now we know that everyone's dead. I said now that we know that everyone's dead. I don't know why he was there. Come up here, lower frame rate, and keep running.
Let's go.
Keep our frame rate low because we want Barney to catch up. And he's got to turn a few times, so he's going to be a bit slow. Come over here, wait
Glad
here.
to see you're still alive, but I'm not complete until you bring
You want to wait
security
inside of
guards
all these
with me.
blue triggers. So if you stand up on here, you're not going to hit the triggers, and he's not going to
I
talk.
like how you
If
hold
you
that
stand
guy.
down here,
job.
he's going to start talking.
I presume you've got
At this point, you can
all
raise your
clear
FPS.
codes for the satellite delivery rocket.
And if you want to do something
Sure
funny,
do.
you can
You
blow
got a
up
plan?
everybody with a grenade whenever he
Once the
says
satellite is in orbit,
Earth.
we can orchestrate a resonance reversal that may seal the rift between Earth and the alien
You can throw a
world.
grenade now, and it would detonate after this trigger. And as long as this trigger happened first, you pass the level, even though it says you failed. So this level now is code green, or DY signal. Or was it DY? I don't know. I think the one I called DY signal earlier was DY uplink. Anyway, there's a battery in the box there that I just broke. You don't really need it, but I grab it anyway just for safety. Now you want to run both characters up here, move fast, break this with a crowbar, try not to get blocked by grunts, use a thing through the wall If I'm not lazy, I'll have an image of what you're using through the wall. You grab some SMG nades there, then run on through. We're going to use these SMG nades very carefully here. So very first time we use them to give that grunt. Use a button through the wall, run off this way. Ignore this guy and just nade those two. Right click him, double check that the guy behind us ran away. He did, so we sit here. Bring the other character through. Now mind you, the first character, we just need to make sure he stays safe while we run. So we're bringing the other character across because we can't use the button to end the level yet. We have to lock to it, and we're getting body blocked a lot here. This is one of the biggest concerns of this level, getting body blocked randomly. Switch over here, use that button, switch back, and to stay alive. Until that happens. Alright, so that's code green. Pretty simple. It's all just execution that level. This level is crossfire. So we start the level by going over to this valve and using it. Try not to get stuck on it, you can. You can get stuck on it easily, so use it from a distance. Run through here, same deal, use this from a distance, because you can get stuck on them. Crouch under this, I call this room 5 guys, so you got to kill 5 guys there. Kill him, run through, kill him, kill him. Reload as many shells as we can. One of the other guys killed himself, so we're free. Wait for him to run past. Get past him. Let's kick him on. Kill this person here. Grab a quick bit of charge if you took too much damage. Swap bug up. Hit that trigger so it gives them something to think about for the get the Vort to distract the grunts. Run through here, use a revolver to blow that up to kill that grunt. Run through here, and then swap bug up to this vent. Up to this pipe, I should say. Press E on this, it will cause it to drop down instantly. And then you can come down here, and now you got to wait. Because there's a hidden timer that's supposed to bring this thing down. But because we never actually raised it in the first place, that timer just sort of sits there and does its thing. Now we've got to use this about 10 or so times. Just keep using it until the red light here turns green. And you will be able to notice the color change on the wall in front of you. So you don't have to constantly turn around and check it. So yeah, it's just all about constantly using these things until it lets you through. But you can also tell by the color of this thing changing.
My equipment tells me that the displacement beacon is in working order. Good job. Come upstairs to Gamma Labs. We haven't much time.
Alright. So this is DY lasers. Now I've done a little trick ahead of time which you wouldn't have seen. I'll discuss this in a different clip, like after the video or after the main section. But there's a skip where you set up lasers by before the run. You complete half the level, then you start the run, and that unlocks the trigger there permanently for your session. I'm gonna keep my frame rate lowered actually, but yeah, as you skip the level. So DY Fubar. So bring your characters through here. Grab the grenade first, grab the rockets and everything else second. The rockets is the most important thing really. Same deal. Grab rockets and that. Do not grab more than the rockets that are in one room. Just grab what's in one room with one character. Grab what's in the other room with the other character. Because you need a total of 8 rockets moving forward. And if you accidentally grab extra rockets from one room, you're going to screw over the other one. So, here I'm actually going to turn off triggers. BXT show triggers 0. What I'm going to do is BXT show HUD entity info 1. I'm going to turn that on. Now pay attention to the entity info on the right. So notice if I look at the roof, it's world spawn. I look at this glass, it's a funk wall. No idea why it's a funk wall, it just is.
With more enemies than you've ever seen. You must charge the crystals as fast as possible.
Also, turn the lasers off on both characters. Otherwise, the missiles will go to where the other, where each other's looking at. It doesn't really care who you're looking at. It sees red dot, it goes to red dot. Anyway, bring one character out here. You want to find a lineup where you're hitting the monster alien fire. There's a big window to hit it in, but I line up where the bottom chevron of my crosshair lines up with the edge of this cloud gap, and the bottom of the right chevron lines up with the same gap in the cloud. So this lineup's good. I click reload. Click reload. By the way, I can raise my frame rate. Click reload. Click reload. Click reload. Bring the other character out, line up where the explosion happened or the end of the trail is. Click reload, click reload. Click reload. If you hit it, you cause that, timer ends, runs over. And that's the run. There's nothing else to do. That's how you run Half-Life Decay solo. So now let's talk about setting up DY lasers. So, assuming you've just booted up, you go to DY lasers, you start up, and I turn on BXT HUD, BXT show triggers 1. So you can see here this trigger is
Up those stairs you can access
locked.
alien quarantine labs.
So we bring both characters up here, lower our frame rate, because we've got to wait for Keller to turn a couple of times.
And activate a beam matrix which powers the displacement beacon. You won't find much help in activating the system, but I'm sure with your training it will be a simple matter.
Come on. Once he turns and
I'll briefly
we
unlock the
can
doors
hit the
I
trigger.
can remotely operate the elevator that will take you to the lab area. Then it's up to you to turn on
So we just go fast to this elevator with both characters. Ignore all these triggers, these don't matter at all to you. In this trigger, they'll cause 2 vorts to spin, as well as a bunch in this next room. You want to quickly kill all the vorts, jump down here and lower all these mirrors. And then leave one of your characters right here. With the other character, you want to run along, just going as fast as you can. Run through here. There's 2 zombies that you can't really see in there. You want to weave between them before they block you off. Might as well throw a grenade in there just to get it funny. The use trigger for this is actually lower than it looks, so you want to use the screen, not anything above the screen. Just run on through. Don't worry about any damage you're going to take. Start off by turning off the yellow light. Hit this button, point it to the orange one. Turn on yellow, turn off blue. Hit this button. Turn on blue, turn off red. Alright. Hit this button, turn on red. And that's the skip setup. If we now return to DY lasers, now that we've done that, if we hit this trigger, it unlocks.
Up those stairs you can access good work.
And it skips the intro. It thinks that you've just come up the elevator and you've finished the level.
Everything comes down to this. The rift is
That's how that skip works. That's pretty much it. So yeah, if you want to see me do speedruns of this, and like I'll do them live on Twitch. I'll have a link to my Twitch in the description. I'm gonna have my configs in the description. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, the whole ordeal. I'm really not good at this, and this is pretty much just ad-lib this entire thing, so yay, have fun.